So I'm with Intrepid Metals CEO Ken Engquist.
That's correct.
Uh, how are you doing, Ken?
Good, good. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing great. So I was at the Corral Copper and Tombstone South projects in April down there in southern Arizona, Cochise County, Arizona, beautiful rural part of Arizona, just north of the Mexican border. And I really liked what I saw there. A lot of copper oxides at surface. You guys have a lot of private patented land with surface rights, kind of the holy grail in terms of mining in the US. Can you tell us about the company's corporate strategy and how you plan to advance these projects?
Yeah, sure. Well, we this first of all, I'll say that I've been with this company now as a director for almost a year and everything, and part of the reason why I was pulled into being a director was because I expressed interest in this project previously and really liked what I saw. There's not a lot of these out there. For us, I think this project, I suspect, was kicked down the road by others in the past because it had such a fragmented land package. And we spent the last year and a half consolidating that land package into something that's much more workable. And right now our land position is about 1,800 acres of private land, like you said, and patented claims, and 9,600 total overall. So we're only, right now, that's about 15% of our land package is private, and that's where we are right now with the Corral project. So we did an initial raise when the company came public in May of 22. We worked on the land package and consolidating that, and Ken Brophy did an amazing job with that and really de-risked the project from that perspective. And then we started our first drill program after a second raise in January, where we raised 6.6 million, and we did our first drill program about 5,000 meters, and used our historical drilling, about 50,000 meters of historical drilling, to guide us to those locations and to ultimately in a successful drill program. And so those results came out, and we press released those, and some amazing numbers. 113 meters at 1.5%, and copper, and even some other intervals, close to 200 meters at 0.7%. I mean, they're just amazing numbers. So the strategy for the next step is we've done a bunch more geophysics and identified about a dozen more targets to not only fill in the zones, but broaden them as well. And then some other targets adjacent that have come up and shown to be high priority targets based on the geophysics and the overlays between gravity surveys and IP surveys and those sorts of things. So that's what we'll be looking to do, is raise some more money pretty soon here, and then launch into the next phase drill program as soon as possible, which will be a larger program, and we'll probably look to go down to Tombstone as well.
Fantastic. That's what I love to hear. So you've worked up some new targets to fill in some of the gaps, between the three zones. Also sounds like you may have some new targets based upon the
Yeah.
gravity and the IP. Super excited to see some of those targets. When do you think you might show some of those off?
Soon. We got some, work in place to finalize the draft. I've got a board meeting where I need to present to the board the work programs that we're proposing in early October, and that will inform what we need to go out and raise, and then we'll hope to get that news flow going like we need to do, and start informing everybody of what our plans are, and get out there and early next year for sure in the drill program, get the drills turning.
Okay, yeah, it's been a little bit quiet from Intrepid.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely things were pretty active back in May, June timeframe, and kind of went quiet during the summer. And I think for those new to the story, I view it as a tremendous opportunity. I think the first time I bought the stock was at 35, 36 cents a share. it ran into the 90s when you put out the results, the 112 meters of 1.5% copper and 0.5 grams per ton gold. Also, copper was doing incredible back then in May, and now it's pulled back. So definitely sort of a reset. And the fact that you're going to start getting active again in the phase two drill program is only a couple or a few months away. That's pretty exciting to me. Let's talk a little bit about Tombstone South. So when I first spoke to Ken Brophy, that was the first thing we ever talked about was the
Mhm.
Tombstone South targets and this sort of contact with the Paleozoic limestones there at depth, sort of a, Taylor sort of analog target, high risk, but high upside. I mean, huge potential upside there if you're able to hit with the drill there at Tombstone South. So what's sort of your strategy there with Tombstone South right now?
Yeah, and historically, the holes that have been drilled historically there by BHP didn't go very deep. The similarities between the proximity of a recent high mag in an IP survey that we did to a fault and to an adjacent, not too far away, porphyry, non-economic porphyry, low grade, but still that porphyry where it's the heat source that feeds the fault, and the flow up into the known host rocks that are very similar to the Taylor deposit. So, when our geologists look at that, they're looking at that and they're saying that there's nothing else that could possibly explain that except the similarities, that they see that they saw at the Taylor deposit. So, we're 75 kilometers east of Taylor, geologically speaking, that's next door. So we'll be looking to do at least a couple of holes into that anomaly, and hopefully we see the results that we're hoping for. Like I said, the geologists, if they had their priorities, I think they would want it. Some of them would like to drill that first and everything, but as you know, those are deep holes. We're talking probably about 1,000-meter holes and expensive ones. So we want to make sure we make the best use of the funds that we raise and put that money into the ground.
So you have the drill permits for
Yeah.
Tombstone South, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
So,
it's just a matter of taking some funds and saying, okay, here's our budget for this program, get the drill to site and go for it, right?
yeah, it is. It is. That's the beauty of the private lands, and is we can, we don't have to petition for permit applications, and they're sending permit applications for drilling and everything. We have to notify, and we can get going as fast as we want.
Okay, so the next phase of drilling, are you going to drill both projects simultaneously, or are you gonna ladder it one first and then go to the other one second?
I'd say there's a good potential for us we haven't ironed that out perfectly yet, Robert, but we have. I'd say there's good potential to do both at the same time. We might be looking for making sure that when we're drilling those deep holes, we want to make sure we've got with the drill contractor that's got experience with that and everything, because we don't want to lose those holes, halfway down or something, and have to restart because they are expensive holes. So we want to make sure we get the right team in there that can be successful. So I think, it's quite possible that we get a couple of drill contractors employed at the same time, one for each site.
Okay. So that stands to be an exciting time for Intrepid shareholders here. And just I don't want to pin you down to exact dates, but you think the drilling could resume down there in Arizona by Q1?
Yeah, that's definitely what I'll be targeting. If we go past Q1, I'll be disappointed, but I don't think that's going to be the case. We want to keep the momentum going on this. I've looked at a lot of these projects over the years. I've been around the base metals industry and specifically copper for quite a long time. And this is a very attractive project. It just needs some work. And the big part was de-risking the land package. And now we got to get, now we got to grow this company and build up our position so that we can fund the de-risking of it as we go forward.
Okay. Ken, thank you for your time. It's a great time to be a copper explorer in the U.S., particularly in the copper state, Arizona. And I look forward to hearing more from Intrepid INTR on the TSX Venture over the coming months.
Thank you very much, Robert.